there are a lot of people who've been in recovery or maybe are in recovery that are going to have this situation happen where a spouse demands a full disclosure like immediately. So maybe they're just starting group, maybe they're interested in group but haven't started yet, and
They got caught with something.
Right, and a spouse goes, I want to know everything, go. What do you suggest for that person? They haven't had that time to write it out or to do group work, or maybe even, talk to the group beforehand. What do you suggest in that situation?
That's not the optimum approach to receiving an individual's history, because it will be in parts and pieces.
Yeah.
The addict has not had an opportunity to thoughtfully present his whole story, and that's required, or we'll be repeating that process in the future. So what would we suggest? Integrating group, get the guidance of a facilitator or even a professional. This is not a process that can be taken lightly, because we don't want to do additional damage.
Yeah. And I would say, if there's a way to communicate, if there's a way for the addict, if you will, to communicate to the betrayed spouse an understanding that they want to know the story, and also a way to understand, a way to empathize that I don't want to tell you in bits and pieces. I don't want to hurt you more. I want to do this correctly, and I want to get good guidance.
Yeah, and that's the kind of counsel I've tried to give when people ask about it, to say, I think what you can communicate to your spouse is, I want to tell you the whole story, and I'm committed to, and I will, but I'm fearful that if I were to do that right now in this emotional moment, it would be partial. I would be maybe blaming or defending myself in ways that would not be appropriate. I would maybe share too much in some ways, get too detailed, but then not enough in others, and there'd be a whole bunch of I forgot abouts down the road that would just make this hard. And so in those cases, like when we talk about this in our workbooks, that if someone has been caught, if they've been found out in the middle of something, you don't get this long time to build up to full disclosure. It may need to happen fairly soon, but even then, to get them integrated into group, to get them with a counselor, to get them time to write it, there are several steps they could take, even in the scope of maybe a few days or weeks, that would be a night and day difference than just at that, as we often hear the story, it's 11 p.m. and they're arguing, and it's like, tell me right now. And if you could even create a little space for that full disclosure, what a difference it can make. So that can be really challenging in a relationship, but that's the kind of language I encourage, is just to make it clear you're committed to that, but giving some reasons why a little bit of time might help it be a better experience.
Completely agree.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about that situation. That answer is not going to probably go over well.
Oh, no.
But it's necessary if you want to do it the best way. Yeah. Gosh, it just stresses me out thinking about that situation.